We're focusing on your driver, and the answers you've given us indicate you have what we would call a classic slice. So the ball either starts at the target or to the left of target and then curves too far to the right through the air. You've also told us that your preference would be to learn how to start the ball on target and hit it reasonably straight. So your slice is caused by two things. The swing path, which is the direction of the club head as it moves through impact, is what we'd call out to in or to the left of target. And then you have an open club face. So when the club face points to the right of the direction of the swing, the ball curves to the right through the air. Now to hit the ball straight, we need to change both of these. We need a much more neutral swing path, where the club head is moving towards the target, and we need a much more neutral club face. So the club face should aim in the same direction as the club head is moving. And when you get that, you get a straight ball flight. So first let's change the swing path, so the direction of the club head through impact. I've got two alignment sticks set on the ground just outside my right foot. They're set in a V shape, and the distance between the ends of the sticks, if they're standard length alignment sticks, will pretty much match the length of your club shaft. So using these two sticks, if I were to ask you to take your club to the top of the swing and then put your club on top of the orange stick, you'd make what most people call an over-the-top move, and that puts the club head on the outside of the target line. And this means your club head now has to move across the target line back to the inside to make contact with the ball. And there is your out to in swing path. Now on the other hand, if I was to use the white stick and say, could you put your club on top of that, you'd have to move down from the top, what you might call more behind you, and from here you could see it would be much more likely to swing from in to out, or to the right of target through impact. So obviously for a neutral swing, a more neutral downswing would be beneficial. And that simply means take the club to the top, bring it down and pause, and make sure the club shaft is somewhere between the two sticks. This is what we might call a neutral delivery position, which means we can now approach from slightly inside the target line, but on a natural arc that takes the club towards the target line for impact, and then back away from the target line after impact. And if you have these two things, you will have a straight swing path. So the club head approaches impact from inside, curves around to straight, and then leaves the target line back to the inside after making contact with the ball. Now secondly, let's look at the club face. Your club face is open, so it points to the right of the direction of the swing. Now with all golf swings, the club face is going to open as it swings back and up to the top. And that means we have a very important job to do, which is to get the club face to close again, somewhere from the top of the swing down to impact. So if we look at what opens the club face, if we rotate the club around its shaft, the toe moves back, and this would be the opening of the club face. If we rotate the shaft the other way, the toe moves forward and catches up with the heel, that would be a square face, and then it can overtake the heel, and that would be a closed face. So during your swing, you will have an opening of the club face, but you haven't got enough closing to get the face back to square for impact. So how do we open and close the face? Our contact point with the club is the grip. So it is by twisting the grip to the right or to the left that we will open and close the face. That means that during your downswing, we need you to apply more of a twist to the left so that you can get the toe of the club to catch up with the heel, so you have a square face at impact. So now we want to put the two things together, the swing path and the club face. So let's take our setup, move to the top, and then first bring the club down into our neutral position. Secondly, let's look at the club face. Now if the club face is pointing upward, it is very open, and we could have done something to help by starting to square the face. So on the way down from the top of the swing down to this delivery position, we can apply a little bit of a twist, which brings the toe forward, and it gets the face to go from pointing up to either pointing forward or even slightly down. Now either of these two positions are better because they're getting closer to square, but they won't be square yet. The face will still be open. And that means from here down to the ball, we have to continue the twisting of the club to get the toe of the club to catch up with the heel for a square face. So going through both moves, we want to go up to the top. The first is down to neutral with a little bit of a twist, and the second is out to the ball with a little bit more of a twist. And if we can get these two moves, we'll have the club coming from the inside but squaring up for impact. So if we do some swings where we have a little bit of flow to it, stand back away from the ball, keep the first pause, so up to the top, down and pause. Make sure you've given it a little bit of twist. Rehearse that movement. You can even feel that you're trying to get the face pointing down towards the floor. And then from here, release the club through to a full finish. And as you release the club to a full finish, you can feel that it's moving out towards the ball. The toe is turning over to square up, and then everything continues through. So again, up to the top, first pause, and release. And if that feels okay, let's get rid of the first pause and let the swing flow from beginning to end. Up to the top, and then all the way through to a finish. Your main feels are, of course, coming down with a little bit of a twist, and then continue the twist through impact. And if you feel all these things are happening, hit a golf ball, and the golf ball will tell us whether you've done it enough or whether you need to do more. So let's take our setup, a little rehearsal, down with a bit of a twist, release the club to the ball, try and get the toe catching up with the heel, and then let's hit a shot.